This is Network 18. And you are watching CNBC TV 18.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Green Globe Foundation Awards series. On today's episode, we put the spotlight on not-for-profit organizations and corporate institutions that are driving India's green journey forward. Earlier this year, the Nobel Prize-winning Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, admitted its goof-up on the deadline on the melting of the Himalayan glaciers. The IPCC had shockingly claimed that the Himalayan glaciers would disappear by 2035. It immediately ordered a retraction, admitting that the claim was without scientific backing or research. Climate scientists across the globe today fear that the wave of skepticism that followed this blunder may severely affect the momentum of India's environmental journey, a journey that has just begun to take off.
Let me put things in perspective. The IPCC mobilizes the best talent, thousands of scientists from all over the world. And I don't want to be modest, but there has been never a single effort like this in history whereby scientific knowledge has made such an impact. Here is a set of reports, printed pages 3,000 plus. Okay, in that if there is one error, which incidentally does not in any way dilute the findings of the IPCC, the glaciers are melting, and that has major implications for different parts of the world.
According to industry observers, India's movement towards the adoption of green technologies has been slow and gradual. They believe that the government has a crucial role to play in spreading awareness and incentivizing the green drive.
I think there's a lot of goodwill on India's part, but I don't know how that will be translated on the ground. For instance, this solar technology initiative, which is 20,000 crores or thereabouts. How will that actually be translated on the ground? Do we have the wherewithal, even if we spend the money, to be able to absorb that kind of technology, maintain it?
Given India's acute dependence on imported energy sources, the adoption of alternative sources of energy is seen as one of the most important moves for India's energy sector. Currently, about 30% of India's oil requirements are being met through imports. Despite being the sixth largest consumer of energy in the world, India produces only 5% from renewable sources. Going forward, the government aims to channelize renewable sources of energy to become both self-reliant and environmentally sound. Experts believe that a sustainable green solution can only be achieved through a multi-stakeholder approach with participation from all sectors.
Right now, I don't think that politicians are in any way, they are sensitive enough as far as global warming or climate change, whatever we call that, is concerned. They are concerned for today's needs only, and they are not concerned about the tomorrow or the day after. And we have to think about for the today, tomorrow, and day after and beyond it. And that's very important. So for that, I think that the government of India should plan in a decisive way that what actions have to be taken and what role the government has to play by taking other stakeholders into the fold and see that the things should happen.
Yet another green crusader fighting climate change from the celebrity community is actor Rahul Bose.
The winner of the award for extraordinary contribution.
Rahul bagged the Green Globe for outstanding contribution by a celebrity for his proactive association with several green initiatives. In addition to his work with the British aid agency Oxfam India, Rahul also launched a green community blog last year in an endeavour to spread environment awareness amongst the youth.
I have two different but complementary roles when it comes to my work on climate change between Oxfam and Planet Alert. Oxfam, I work more at the policy level, which is keep in touch with exactly what's happening across major countries in terms of their policies on climate change. With Planet Alert, it's a hard role. I have a green blog where I blog once fortnight, once in 3 weeks about green issues, how to save water, how to save electricity, what to do in a restaurant, to be more sensitive to the to energy requirements, what kind of car you should drive, what can you do in your home, things that people can read and implement in their lives immediately.
Known as much for his activism as for his acting, Rahul believes that public figures have an added responsibility to lead by example.
I think it's vital for people like me to speak about issues as complex as this, because otherwise people will not understand it. The NGO speak is not decipherable. Suddenly you'll hear phrases like sustainable development and self-evolving communities and this infrastructural, and people just go, what the hell is this person saying? It's important for people like me to speak about it, because I understand things and I communicate things at a fairly simplistic, at least simplistic level, or at least a very accessible level.
He adds that the Indian government should think with maturity and foresightedness as it explores sustainable environment solutions for the future.
Government simply has to incentivize very strongly, very clearly and very boldly for people to go green. If that doesn't happen, forget it, go home. Government has to decide that they're not going to be part of the fossil fuel economy in many more ways than one. So these are things that are, how should I put it, very government driven. An NGO cannot do this.
Siruthuli, an NGO based in Coimbatore, was born in June 2003 to serve a pressing basic need, that of drinking water. Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu's second largest city, which was once known for its abundant water sources and salubrious climate, underwent a devastating transformation over the past decade. It began to witness a severe water shortage and rapid environmental degradation. It was this that gave birth to Siruthuli, one of the winners of the Green Globe for extraordinary contribution by an NGO.
As early as in the 1970s, the UNDP had cautioned the authorities that this is we are on the brink of a disaster in terms of water situation. The water levels were going down, and we had, against an authorized 1 lakh bore wells, we had more than 4 lakh bore wells which had been dug in Coimbatore. So the groundwater level was getting depleted very, very fast. So in 2003, all of us got together and we said we need to do something about water for Coimbatore, and that's how Siruthuli was born. Siruthuli means little drops.
Siruthuli's chief objectives were reviving the city's traditional water management system and using rainwater harvesting to harness rainwater and desilt ponds and canals to raise the groundwater level.
We started mapping the water management system of Coimbatore, which was beautifully designed way back 400 years ago. It was so beautifully designed right from the Western Ghats, where the rains come, right up to a place called Kodumudi, which is about 160 kilometers from Coimbatore.
It attempted to solve the water problem through a unique multi-pronged approach.
What is our unique process is the groundwater structures that we have, artificial groundwater recharge structures that we have constructed across the length and breadth of the city. Initially we constructed about 150 structures, and now we are in the process of constructing about 215 structures, wherein we take the runoff water from the roads. What we have done is harvesting the rainwater from the various areas of the city, and it is taken directly into the aquifers.
Siruthuli also focused on preventing environmental degradation by launching a drive against non-biodegradable waste. This included an afforestation drive and mass education programs to impart awareness on environmental issues. Several initiatives launched by Siruthuli witnessed mass participation, with an increasing number of youth being involved. To impart eco-awareness amongst the student community, Siruthuli also initiated eco-forums in schools and colleges. Over 23 schools and 3 colleges thus far have commenced work under Siruthuli's Eco Forum banner in the areas of afforestation,